first session of the Page County School Board.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Dr. Painter.
Yes.
Ms. Alger.
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes.
All present.
Pause for a minute of silence as we prepare for the meeting tonight. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rousing pledge.
Dr. Fox, do you have any agenda changes or additions?
I do not.
Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion, we approve the agenda. Second.
A motion by Ms. Alger and a second by Dr. Painter to approve the agenda.
Ms. Alger.
Yes.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Dr. Painter.
Yep.
Mr. Goodwin.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to certify that all personnel matters discussed in closed section. We're in section 2.2-3711A1.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Sullivan Smoot and a second by Ms. Alger to certify personnel matters discussed in closed session.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Dr. Painter.
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin.
Yes.
Ms. Alger.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes. We do have a couple of citizen
We have
comments. All right, I'm going to read this real quick. The Page County School Board welcomes citizen comment during regular meetings. School board members do not respond to public comment during a meeting. All comments should address a matter related to Page County Public Schools. The school board will not hear public comment that involves complaint about an individual, staff member, personnel actions, or litigation, nor any comments related to an individual student-related matter, the disclosure of which would violate applicable confidentiality requirements. The school board expects that each speaker will be courteous, modeling for our students how one can respectfully agree or disagree with others' views. Speakers will address their comments to the entire school board and not to one individual board member, nor to the superintendent, a staff member, or the audience. Speakers will have 3 minutes to present their comments from the podium.
Audrey King.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to talk on behalf of the Living Legacy and the West Luray Recreation Center. We spend $10,000 every month to provide supplementary resources for the kids in our community in conjunction with the schools. We provide dinners for the youth, that they have food to go home to and are adequately fed each night. We provide counseling services to the youth. And when we could not get approval or funding from the school to enhance the basketball courts that now are enhanced, we built our own. At the beginning of the summer, we were promised that we would have adequate busing and transportation from the schools to get youth to the rec center. When that promise failed, we bought more buses and we hired more staff. I'm here tonight because we've had issues of disrespect from staff, both to our children and to our organization. We've had staff of Page County School put derogatory comments on our Facebook posts concerning the work that we do for these youth. We have brought it to the attention of the principals and to the school board, but we have not seen change. Most recently, in some of the schools, we have had principals speak negatively about our organization to the youth that they brought to us, and we've also brought that to the school board on over 5 occasions. Just this week, we have youth that we were promised we would have at least until 4 o'clock supervision at the schools until our buses, because that's all we have is our buses, are able to go to each of the schools to pick up the kids. We had a principal that put kids on a bus at 3:15 and told them that if the rec is not there by 3:20, they're sending them home. These kids went to homes without parents or knowledge of their parents that they were even there, without phones, to locked homes, and had to stand out in the cold until we were able to go to various towns and retrieve them. I'm here tonight to say I appreciate each of you. I value each of you, what you do for the community. Dr. Fox, I value the work that you have done since COVID, and you've done an amazing job to bring the community together. But school systems in general, in particular, this one is broke. Those that you go to with issues do not have solutions, and those that have the solutions you're not able to reach. So we will do our part to distance ourselves from solutions to solutions that work. Because going to the school board, expressing ourselves, and dealing with the hurt of these children is not working when it is coming to those that are supposed to be those that are able to give us results. I thank each of you individually, and I wish collectively that a greater difference could have been made. Thank you.
I know we don't respond. I've never heard of anything.
I can bring it to you, Dr. I'll make sure that the next incident, if there be a next incident, I'll make sure to email you or make sure you're CC'd in it. Thank you all.
See.
You're welcome.
Walt Surratt.
Thank you very much. My name is Walt Surratt. I'm here on behalf of the board of the historic Andrew Jackson School at the West Sawyer Recreation Center. It's probably inopportune time for me to show up. Bad timing, but nevertheless, I'd like to make you aware of two projects that we're undertaking. This is the museum part of the West Sawyer Recreation Center. First, we invite classes from Page County Public Schools to visit our museum. We think we have a wonderful venue to describe and explain to students what it was like to go to school in Page County when you weren't white. So we received feedback from 4th and 5th grade classes from Springfield Elementary that went last year, and they thought it was a terrific program. The 4th graders especially got a lot out of it. So whatever that is, whatever that means, we extend the invitation to anybody. If you're interested in privately seeing the museum or bringing a class to see us, send an email to AJSM, Andrew Jackson Memorial School, AJSM, at livinglegacyluray.org. AJSM at livinglegacyluray.org. And we'll be happy to do whatever we can to help you. Second, the Board of the Museum is planning a variety of activities to celebrate Black History Month in 2024. So we'll be hosting an essay contest. The theme this year is arts and African Americans. So that's the global, the theme throughout the U.S. And I've already been discussing with Mrs. Ryman and Mrs. Owens about an opportunity for students to participate in an essay contest. We have designed 3 different opportunities for students to write essays. There will be prizes awarded. We also be hosting movies on Friday afternoons for kids 13 and above, and Thursday afternoons for children between the ages of 5 and 12, age appropriate. For example, we're going to show Hidden Figures about Kathleen Johnson. We're going to show the other names escape me right now, but that's because of my age. I'm sorry?
Ruby Bridges.
Ruby Bridges, thank you. Yes, yes. And another one I can't remember either. A list of the movies will be made available on our website. That's livinglegacyluray.org, or on the Facebook page of West Luray Recreation Center. And we're also going to have a timeline activity that the kids that were just here will present. That timeline is, we're going to give the students a picture of a person and ask them to do some research and find out where that person lives in history. And then they'll put the things all together on a huge timeline. We'll present that on the 24th of February, which is our culminating event. We will start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon that day. There's going to be a play. Students will participate in a play that they're going to act out that will surround Black History Month. The essay contest winners will present their essays, and we'll have a play and food. Thanks very much. Appreciate your attention and my opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ready, Doctor? So this afternoon, we want to take the opportunity to say thank you to our two board members who are going to, as your words are, Mr. Gubler, cycle off, or their terms expire as of December 31st, 2023. So Dr. Painter, if you would join Ms. Gordon, please. Dr. Painter was elected to the school board and began her four-year term on January 1st, 2020. Since then, she has shared her educational knowledge and experiences to help us move forward. And if you would stay there, please, Dr. Painter. Mr. Gubler, would you join, please? So Mr. Gubler has served two four-year terms on the school board, and he began his tenure in January of 2016. He has shared his knowledge of the environment and his experiences from the park services in order to help us move forward. We both have served through the ups and downs of COVID, hired new superintendents, and have had solved a myriad of problems and other challenges that have come our way. You've also celebrated successes with us. You've helped us think differently, and you've helped us always keep students at the center of our decision-making. We wish you both the very best as you now move forward and do other things with all this free time you're going to gain. But on behalf of all of the faculty, the staff, the students, and the families of Page County, we just want to say thank you, and we're grateful for the contributions and the work that you gave to the division. So thank you. Where we go? And then will you all come up and join, please? Everybody else is coming. All right. Sure thing. You did? That's good. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Albert and a second by Mr. Painter to approve the consent agenda.
Dr. Pepper.
Yep.
Mr. Buford.
Yes.
Ms. Albert. Yes. Mr. Payne.
Yes.
Ms. Sullivan Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Gordon.
Yes. Thank you. So the November minutes are on for review. And then Dr. Fox, school board student representative updates. Question? Anything?
Yes, I do. Unfortunately, they was kind of jam packed. I've seen a lot of notes and stuff down for teachers, and I have just about everything I need on this one. My January one, I will include information about my experiences there. I'd really like to give a depth on that, and I just don't have time. I do have some things though. And like I said, we have to back, so if we can have my able to share it, but I'll be happy to do patient. Any questions or anything, I'll be happy to. First off, this is what we've had happening at PCPS. We've had the Holiday Elf fundraiser. That's where we raise money with jars with different teachers' names on them, and whichever one has the most money in it by the end. At the last day of break, that teacher's dressed up as a holiday elf. We have decided the theme for prom, and we've been working on a lot of planning for it. It is a vintage Hollywood theme. We've had a food drive going on all month. People are donating food. They get a raffle ticket. They're giving away different prizes every day. It's the FCCLA is doing that. We've got our holiday break coming up. SCA made welcome bags for students moving to our school. We've had holiday dress up days for most of this week, and then we have them for what we do go next week. And we have holiday decorating outside of the school, and it is on a timer, so we conserve energy. And also, every door in the school, the teachers and students have really got into decorating them this year, trying to see who can do the best. And I encourage you all to come down there and see some of this stuff. The SCA has collected $1,331.13 for page ones. Supplies being collected. They're also collecting supplies for the animal shelter. The FFA has had nursing home gift collections. We've been getting stuff together to give out to nursing homes, get little gift bags with some different stuff in them. We had a holiday party today with some of the people that all brought food and drinks and stuff like that in. Casey's Backpacks, unfortunately today, since this meeting was moved, I was unable to make it to that today, but we get food together for people in the community. Livestock judging practices are continuing, and we've received our pullovers and hoodies the livestock team has. I have photos of that. If any of y'all would be interested in seeing them, I'd be more than happy to show them to you. And we are getting donations for an animal shelter and getting stuff together to send them. FCCLA activities with the Magic Food Drive, like I've been talking about, that's been going on all month. They've had prizes and stuff every day for it, gift cards, things of that nature. They've collected over 1,350 different cereals, canned foods, things of that nature. Wreaths Across America, they've sold over 50 wreaths. They're going to go there to Arlington National Cemetery, and the students are the ones that signed up to go. We're going to put them on the graves. FBLA, they are also doing the Wreaths Across America. They have some competitive events that they're training for coming up in February. They wrote thank you notes to first responders in Shenandoah and Stanley, and they're collecting for the care closet. The Fellowship of Christian Students is now meeting monthly, and sometimes they have meetings that they'll have an extra one in there too. And they're currently having a bake sale. Everything's $1. The money is going towards a mother who has cancer. NHS, the turkey teacher, they raised money for Toys for Tots, and with the turkey teacher, that's what all of that money went towards. And they helped, that's the Stanley Elementary Book Fair. The History Club, that kind of is just getting started up, really. They said there's going to be more information coming on that soon, and they have many projects that they look forward to getting started. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys have a lot going on.
Yeah.
And we thank you again for coming to VSBA with us.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, next month I'll have everything ready, a detailed thing on that, talking about that, but it was just kind of swamped today. And, yeah, my apologies again for not getting this done and getting it in him so y'all could see it up there a little bit better.
Okay.
You're a busy guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was perfect.
I'm
Thank you.
excited to hear what you learned, but we learned that Sebastian has probably seen every movie ever made.
Ever made. Even long before he was born.
Yeah.
Ever made. Ms. Sechrist?
Yes, good evening, board members. You have been provided with the monthly financial report for November, where expenditures and revenues were $3,428,389.87. Along with that, you have the local match calculation that we did balance with the treasurer's office. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
Ms. Ryman? Instructional update?
Some of my slides this evening, the print is really small, so I printed them so you could see some of the things a little bit. All right. Well, good evening, board members. I'm going to start this evening by recognizing a few grant recipients we've had in the division in the last couple of months. Our local 80K sorority has an annual grant opportunity that they provide to teachers. Those are typically $400 a piece. This is my second year, of course, being involved with that process, and we got a good bit more applications than we even had last year, which was a really good sign. I want to say we had a dozen or so. So the individuals that you see there were recognized in mid-November. I got to go and see them receive their check and award at their sorority get-together. Megan Painter at Page County High received that money to purchase some additional adaptive materials for her classroom. Julie Painter and Jennifer Catron submitted a grant together at LES, and then Kathy Seal had a separate grant at LES. But all three of them, their grants revolved around literacy, whether it was books, whether it was materials to produce book nooks, things of that nature. So great things there for those ladies. Congratulations to them. And again, I would say thank you to all those who submitted a grant, because we know not everyone can receive it, but the effort was there and the desire to improve things for their classrooms, for their students. And then another grant, Miss Wanda Plum at Shenandoah Elementary actually received an agriculture in the classroom grant. She sought out herself and applied for. That money is going to be used to organize a mini Master Chef event, which should be really fun to see. So Wanda shared that students will get to cook with farm fresh ingredients, share the meal with their families. Hopefully this will be in late January or early February. So get more on that, we'll share. And then this parent-teacher conferences, this feels like forever ago, a little over a month ago in November. Just wanted to give you a little update about that. Kind of the range you can see of conferences depending upon school. The numbers there for middle school, please note that a lot of times that's the number of conferences, but they meet in teams with families and kids. So, 4 teachers or more might gather around with one family. So that number is representative of individuals versus like separate individual conferences. And then high school, not unusual. Sometimes high school is the smaller of the gathering for events like that. But all in all, we had over 900 conferences. So it was a very good use of time and engagement with families. The calendar committee is once again together and in action. So just to give you an update there, we've had 3 meetings with the committee. A survey went out in November to gather feedback, as we did last year, from staff, parents, and guardians. We had 559 responses. So we're working on getting that together, getting that draft formalized to Dr. Fox so that that can be presented to you in the new year. Stay tuned there. Okay, the biggest piece of my presentation tonight is to share a little bit about Frontline with you. This is a tool that I think some of you learned about at a VSBA event at one point, and Dr. Fox was able to negotiate and procure that tool for us. And it really helps us with our attendance tracking procedures. So the slides that I gave you they're going to come up here. But again, I said the font is kind of small and I wanted to give you a taste. The reason I did not want to dive directly into the platform tonight and maneuver, one, it's just a challenge when you're not the clicker. But 2, you could click real quick and all of a sudden you're into some student data, and I didn't want to accidentally have something pop up there on the screen, right? So this first one that you see is a dashboard. This particular report is the report that, of course, I could see at the division level, a principal could see at their school level, and they go in and there's lots of different things there as you can see. This is even just what I could capture in a screenshot, right? If I'd scrolled down, there's way more graphs. So what this does is it tells you what is your percentage of division-wide now, schools that have their chronic absenteeism rate. As you see on the right, you can see there's lots of different filters, all of that. So what we're going to do is I've taken some different snapshots and we're going to zoom in so you can get the idea of what it looks like from our side and then how our administrators use this to help address absenteeism. Okay. All right. The first one, if you'll notice on the next slide, says November 21st. Because as you've learned about chronic absenteeism, it's all relative to the amount of time that has passed, right? Because it measures the percentage of time that students have missed school based upon how far along we are in the year. So on any given day, this is updated from the previous data pool from PowerSchool. Every 24 hours, it's updated. So on November 21st, when I grabbed a snapshot, you can see what's up there in yellow. Again, I know this one's kind of small. Sorry about that. The yellow part shows the chronic absenteeism rate per building. And then the blue's not chronically absent. For reference, over there on the side, remember when we are rated for accreditation, those are the green, yellow, reds, right? So on November 21st, if you look at that, we had a school or two really close to hitting the level 3 line, but most were level 2 or below, okay? Now compare that to the next one, December 5th, same thing, snapshot in time. You can see some slight changes. Now PCTC, for example, doesn't get rated accreditation-wise, but if you notice, there you can see a pretty marked difference from November 21st to December 5th, right? Just as an example. And then the most recent grab that I did is on the next slide. Numbers are a little easier to see here. That's from December 8th, as of last Friday, right? So on that date, that you don't need to change the slide or go back, but on that the initial slide I showed you, it had a number at the top that said like division-wide chronic absenteeism percent. On December 8th, division-wide, we were at 22% as a division. This is the breakdown by school. So based on this data, 2 schools would be at level 3 if we were calling it at that point. The rest of them are at level 2. For comparison's sake, this past year, our accreditation data, we had 1 school that was level 2 and the rest were at level 3. So I think this, again, it's a snapshot in time.
Say that again, please.
So when accreditation ratings came out for this year,
Yep.
end of the year, we had 1 school that was at level 2 and everybody else was at level 3 for the totality of last year.
What time? That was last year.
That was last year,
Okay.
right? Because we didn't have this to know moments in time. I wish I did, because I could see what made me curious about that is while that feels good and it sounds improvement, we know we're seeing improvement. I don't have December 8th, 2022 to see where we were at that moment, right, for comparison. But we will over time now. That's what this will help. So again, I make that point to say we are seeing improvements there with their efforts. All right, so the next couple slides are just some zoom in examples, okay?
Well, can I just ask a question?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So say we have our accreditation, all of our schools are accredited,
Okay.
right? And the absenteeism isn't where it needs to be. They're still not accredited, correct? How does that work?
Yeah, good question. There's so many nuances to that question, actually, from DOE perspective, and they're working on reestablishing the accreditation rules anyway. So typically, a school won't, you may be an improvement for a particular area. So let's just say there's a school that, you know, it's a great across the board in our academic areas, but this one is still maybe a level 2 or 3. They may have to engage in some type of school improvement processes for that particular element.
They would then be, but they would be accredited.
More than likely, or at minimum accredited with conditions.
Because remember, there's all those different indicators. There's the achievement, there's the gaps, there's the student engagement, and then there's graduation rate. So you could potentially be at a level 3 and 1 and still be accredited.
Yeah.
So that's possible. Level 2 and still be accredited.
That's why it's helpful to look at all the different elements, because you're right. If someone just on a high 30,000 foot view sees a school accredited, and I'm not trying to minimize anyone that's reached that landmark, they should be applauded for that. But to Dr. Fox's point, there could still be an area or areas where you want to continue to improve, always. Right.
And we believe that if we solve this, you know, our other
You'd like to believe that, right? Because
Yeah,
if we
right.
can't have students in school, it's harder to be academically
Right.
successful. That's right. Okay, so this is a zoom in. Everything else from here on out, I stayed on December 8th, just to kind of show you how you could zoom in and look at different things. So this shows you, and again, by school level, you could do this. Absences by day. So let's say that teachers or administrators have just kind of anecdotally noticed, feels like we have a lot of kids missing on Tuesdays or whatever, right? This will tell you. So this one was from division level. And as you can see, there's variance. I don't know that it's a shocker to people that Friday's the highest. But, you know, it's not tremendously significant. If we saw one that was really, really low, then you might go, wow, what's the magic sauce there, right? For that rate. Okay, next slide. And then this one, I just grabbed you can do by period. And it was quite honestly just easiest to grab one of our high schools because they have the 4 blocks for ease of understanding. If you've ever seen a master schedule for some of our elementary schools, there's like 10 periods just because of the way they have to schedule things. It was a little overwhelming. So I pulled this one to make it easier to view. But this would even tell you by block, right? So if you're looking at this, what might be something you'd conclude? Maybe we have kids leaving early a lot, right? Not to an extreme amount, but it's something to investigate. And those have been questions that have come up in our administrative meetings. For example, when we first started using this tool, as you saw from that dashboard, there's so much here. The administrators really like it, but they will certainly tell you we're not masters of this yet. It takes a lot to dig in. And one of our APs happened to say, I know, and I'm really busy, and I know we're really concentrating on making the calls, and we're having the meetings about kids that are missing all day, but I've also noticed that, we're having the leave earlys. So they're engaging with those families as well. So the secret to this too, once you dig down, is you can click on any of these features, and then it will, for example, if I pulled up those leave earlys, the last period of the day, it'll tell me then how many students you could then filter it by date. It really helps you zoom in so you can narrow the pool enough that you've got a workable set of students or things to go down. So they're really using this to help see tier 1 level, like big picture things, which is more or less what I've showed you. But the more they will drill in, they'll know more about, okay, who do I really need to have the parents come in and have a conversation with? What are the questions I might ask based on this? That kind of thing. Next, thank you. So overall, action steps to address attendance, obviously the family connection, that's first and foremost. And it's more than phone calls. I think you heard back at our summer work session how administrators were pulling in and talking with families over the summer to get ahead, because it's not just reactive, it's proactive strategies. So it's all of those things, obviously the data analysis and recognizing good attendance and or improvement when you see it. Student might not be coming every day, but it may be better than it was a couple months ago, and acknowledging that. And then working to address obstacles to getting to school. We've been fortunate to have, through various grants, other ways to help support, whether it's paying people stipends to help do some of the data disaggregation, to help make the calls, things of that nature. So I hope that helps show you a little bit more about Frontline and its use. It is a really powerful tool as we can just keep learning. So, any other questions you have? Oh, yes, Sebastian, sorry.
Do you have any idea what caused such a big difference at the tech center, or was it all just coincidental?
Good question. Well, obviously you're dealing with a smaller population, right? I don't know the answer to that for sure. I could posture what I think it might be.
I would love to hear what your posture
Well, I think you have to also consider students that go to the tech center. Fine, I'll give you my opinion. It's my opinion, right? But students who go to the tech center, they're there for a particular program that they sought out, right? I'll be the first to admit there were some classes in high school that were not my forte, right? Now, I didn't miss them. I was a good kid. I showed up to school. My parents made sure I got to school. But nonetheless, it may come down to what's interesting about this too. I want to be here because I want to learn this and I see where my future's going with this. You know how it is, Sebastian. I guarantee you, whether you or some of your friends behind me, I know, right? Have had thoughts about, I really don't care for X class, right? But I personally think that's what helps make a difference. Yeah, that's a good question. And that's the kind of thing that we have to continue to look at and ask why.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. Good question. Anything else?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Fox, superintendent's update.
Yeah, so good evening, board. Sebastian, thank you for your update. We appreciate that. And it's okay that it wasn't on the screen, but we appreciate the effort you put into sharing with us. I wanted to begin tonight with, thanking Dr. Painter and Mr. Googler. Again, just for your commitment to the school divisions. We certainly wish you all the best, and certainly will miss you as you transition. And thank you for your continued support of of the division as we move forward. We want to offer and extend a congratulations and a thank you to the State Superintendent of Public Education, who came last week to visit Shenandoah Elementary School. Ms. Sullivan Smoot and Ms. Gordon were there to honor the school nurse, Ms. Tara Fox, because of her life-saving CPR that she gave to a colleague there. So she talked about everyday heroes and shared with the students in an assembly that they had an everyday hero living in their midst, and encouraged the kids to remind her that she's a hero every day. So we just want to say thank you to them for coming, Dr. Coons and Dr. Rayleigh, who's her chief of staff, for visiting the school, and say thank you to Ms. Fox for her work in saving that life, because that person is obviously very grateful to have their life saved, but and we're grateful to have her back at work as well. So thank you to everybody for that. We also wanted to share congratulations that at the VSBA convention that was mentioned, Page County was the recipient of the Excellence in Risk Management for Property and Casualty from VACORP, which is our insurer, workman's comp property liability risk management organization. We were recognized for the work that's being done in terms of limiting risks, taking care of injury prevention, and then managing overall safety. So congratulations to all the staff members who helped to make that happen, because that's a collective effort across the division to make that happen. Our enrollment, we are, last time I shared with you in October, we were plus 55 students. We're currently sitting still in the plus 54 students. So still excited that that's a positive number for that. Also want to congratulate and thank you all, the four of you, Ms. Gordon, Ms. Sullivan Smoot, Ms. Alger, and Mr. Painter. At VSBA, we presented about our community forums. I think that was very well received by the room. I don't think there was a seat open in the room, but it was a good presentation. It was nice to be able to present with you all in that forum. But I think very positive feedback about the work that's being done with the community forum. So thank you all for being willing to go and put that effort into that presentation. So, and then speaking of the forum, we had our 6th forum was this past Monday at Luray High School. It did feature a little bit different. We had a parent give her perspective on some of the challenges and the things that are obstacles for her and how the school and the community have helped her and her family. She has students in our division, how we've helped her, but a realistic example of some of the challenges that exist for families that they didn't intend, they didn't create, but somehow find their ways into their lifestyle. So we're grateful for her coming to share with us. We then had participant roundtable discussions. There were 3 different questions that participants rotated to, and I found that those were very productive. We had at my table some great conversations, and Mr. Runyon and Ms. Owens, who facilitated the other tables, agreed that they were good conversations. So we are thankful for the folks that came to that, and our next forum will be on Tuesday, January 16th at 4 o'clock. And then with the winter break, while many of us, if you talk to a teacher, they're counting down the minutes to next Wednesday at 12:30 because they're ready for a break. Many of our students are as well. I'll look to you guys. Are you ready for a break next week? Yeah. I've heard people mention that if the school board were to give us a Wednesday off, they'd be super excited. But with that comes also a recognition that the holidays are sometimes very hard for some people. While many of us, may be fortunate enough to enter the season with a lot of joy and anticipation, there are people that it's not a particularly good time for them or their family, or they don't have the resources to be able to celebrate the way others do. We will be sending out a holiday message first part of next week, and in that message, there'll be a list of community resources. That if you need things, you have someone who may be talking about harming themselves, there's some resources there that they can access should they need it. There's listings of food banks and other types of prevention services that are available in our community or right outside of our community. So that message will go out, and we certainly hope that any of those people that are struggling or need help will reach out and ask for help. If we as a school division can help, we're happy to help in that regard. And just a reminder too to everybody that our Stop It app has that 24-hour crisis text line. So anybody can text and immediately be connected with a counselor. So if they're in a moment that's just hard or difficult and they're not sure how to manage that, we encourage you to use that 24-hour text line. And then we just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all the best for the new year. And just as a reminder that schools and offices will be closed starting Thursday, December the 21st, through Monday, January 1st. January 2nd, which is a Tuesday, is a teacher workday, and then all students will return on January 3rd, 2024. So thank you. That's my update tonight. Happy to answer any questions if you have them.
In the resource that you send out, it may be good to put, there are some churches and other organizations offering free meals,
Okay.
either that weekend or even some on Christmas Day. I know there's one specifically in Shenandoah.
You know if anybody has a list that's published of those resources?
I don't have a list. I can send you the couple dates, the few dates that I know.
I know that Rudy's Diner in Shenandoah put on Facebook that they will provide meals for any family that has a need. So they had that on Facebook. So.
Well, I would say then if anyone knows of a resource, we were happy to include it. I'd ask them just to email it to me, and we'll include it in that letter that we send out.
Can you send us what you have so far?
Sure.
Not only meals, I mean, I know Raleighville Gospel Church, Raleighville Baptist have delivered 30-some loads of wood. They were in Newport. We're going to do that this weekend. All three. ER has done that as well. So there's opportunities there. If you know of a family that needs some, let me know. I'll get you in touch with the right people.
Thank you.
Ms. Sechrist, claims for payment.
Yes, good evening, board members. You've been provided with the claim certification where the operating fund is $408,485.87. CIP, Capital Improvement Fund, $200,716.13. Food Service Fund, $65,096.72. Total expenditures, $674,298.32. Along with that is the list of claims as well as the check registers. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Make a motion, we approve the claims for payment as presented.
Second.
A motion by Dr. Painter and a second by Mr. Painter to approve the claims for payment as presented.
Mr. Greenwood.
Yes.
Ms. Albert. Yes. Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Dr. Painter.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Sechrist again.
Yes, we have 3 purchase orders for your consideration this evening. 2 of them are to Valley Automation. One is for additional cameras at Shenandoah, Luray Middle, and Springfield using the state school construction money. The second is also to Valley Automation for the additional access controls here at the school board office, also using state school construction money. And then social studies and science textbooks using instructional areas.
Make a motion that we approve the purchase orders over 10,000 as presented.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Painter and a second by Mr. Gubler to approve the purchase orders over 10,000 as presented.
Ms. Albert.
Yes.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Dr. Painter.
Yes.
Ms. Albert.
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Sechrist.
Yes. Wouldn't let you go without this one more.
This is just for you, Dr. Painter.
Yes. Trying to make it nice and short.
Mother may I?
Yes, it's definitely shorter than some of the others. I'll read this into the record. Resolution to the Page County Board of Supervisors requesting adjustment of the 2023-2024 school budget for the all-in funding and school security equipment grant. Whereas the all-in funding was authorized in September 2023, and whereas the all-in funds are state per pupil funding for the implementation of the Virginia Literacy Act, learning loss, and attendance recovery, and whereas Page County Public Schools has been notified of all-in funding allocations in the amount of $1,364,657 to be received on a recurring semi-monthly basis. And whereas the all-in funds are to be focused on high-intensity tutoring, 70%, Virginia Literacy Act, 20%, and chronic absenteeism, 10% at all schools. And whereas any remaining funds may be carried over to the fiscal years 2025 and 2026, and whereas the Page County School Board has received approval and authorization during the fiscal year of 2023-2024 on a grant with an existing state program for security grant funds in the amount of $172,861. And whereas the anticipated funds in these grants will exceed the original estimated budget for the fiscal year of 2023-2024, and whereas the Page County School Board will receive the additional funds channeled through the Virginia Department of Education and grantors directly on a reimbursement basis. And whereas the grant awarded requires the funds to be used at Blue Ray Elementary School, Blue Ray Middle School, Page County Middle School, and Stanley Elementary School. And now therefore be it resolved that the Page County School Board, for audit and record-keeping purposes, to keep the 2023 and 2024 budget in balance with no increase or decrease of local appropriations involved, respectfully request the Page County Board of Supervisors to appropriate additional state funds from all-in funding in the school security equipment grant in the amount totaling $1,537,518. Page 2 has the budget amendment table. This is to certify that the foregoing resolution was authorized by the Page County School Board during its regular session on Thursday, December 14th, 2020. If you have any questions, we'll do our best to answer those as well.
Make a motion that we approve the resolution as presented.
Second.
A motion by Mrs. Sullivan Smoot and a second by Mr. Painter to approve the resolution as presented.
Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Dr. Payne?
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin?
Yes.
Ms. Albert?
Yeah.
Ms. Sullivan?
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Board member discussion, please?
I have 3 things. First of all, hats off to the students of Page County High School for everything that Sebastian reported tonight. Wow. That gives me such a good feeling to know that our young people are not just thinking about themselves. They're reaching out to the community. And if that's the future, I think we're going to be in good shape down the road. So I just can't say enough to all of them. Thank you, Sebastian, for putting that together. Wow, I mean, what a way to come up with a Christmas break, knowing that our kids are doing all those things. So again, also, I'd like to thank the Page County chapter of ADK for their insight on providing these scholarships to the different schools for different reasons. Your support is greatly appreciated. And last but not least, I just want to say to Rolf and Amy. Now, Rolf and I have been on it for a little longer than Amy, but Rolf, it's been a joy working with you. And Amy, even though it's only been 4 years, it's been great. The wealth and everything that you bring to the tables over the time you were here. But the best thing about being on this board, well, for me, had I not been here, I wouldn't have gotten to know you. All of it. And this is my 14th year, and I have met some great, well, all of them have been great people to work with. And that's probably the real plus for me in able to work with such great groups, and I appreciate it. Don't jump up and down too much when you leave tonight, but enjoy and just know you both have made a difference. So thank you so much and have a wonderful holiday. And we'll still keep in touch. We might need to have a little humor from Mrs. Dr.
I have to
Painter.
be a public comment or two.
Hey, there you go.
We expect that you'll be watching the meeting.
But anyway, again, thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. So the metrics, thank you for that. Actually, we were in our community forum the other day and someone slid up beside Dr. Fox and said, I would really like to see some metrics. There they saw some. So the great thing about metrics is that you ask those questions, right? You see it, you can ask the questions. It's a great thing. That's why I keep pushing for it. With that, I want to say we should all have a good break, but we should never, when we come back, be ready to be challenged. We should never settle for less in this county. I think we do that too often. The other day I was at Laurel Ridge. Look at you, watch. I was at Dr. Phoenix's presentation for Lounge. And one of the things that struck me with that is that he looked at this place. He moved here as a positive, like, wow, I can live here. I can work here. that's something to think about. Because it is a wow. When you hear that what the kids are doing, it's wonderful. The community forum has been a great thing. Dr. Fox and Megan, I give y'all kudos for that. Yeah, the last one was really good. I had to leave early, but it was really good. A lot of good things are coming together. Questions are being asked. The right questions are being asked, which is what I love to see. Mr. Gubler, one thing I appreciate about him, when Amy and I joined, he waited for about 3 to 4 months before he ever reached out to me. Said, hey, can we have a conversation? I want to give you time to figure out some things. I appreciate that about him. He and I walk lockstep in a lot of areas, and some we tension one another. And I've appreciated that. I really do. I don't mind tension. And speaking of tension, thank you, Amy. You've been fun to work with.
Oh, it's not over.
You've been fun to work with. I've said this many times. You're the only person on this board that really knows the ins and outs of a school system. You worked in it before, the family in it, we've attended it, we've been involved. But her experience is really something we're going to lose. It's a sad thing to see, really, for me. And she verifies everything. I mean, she's hearing something, she's clicking on her computer and figuring things out while we're sitting here talking about it, which is good to see. And we'll miss you. I thank you for all your time. I know we went through a tough time with COVID, but we made it through, and now we're starting to make it even further success.
I'm kind of just going to echo a lot of what everybody said. So one with the community forum, the next day I went to the different nonprofits like I do, and everyone was just so elated by the conversation, and everyone just said how great it was, and like those are the type of meetings that we need to have. So the community is really responding really well. And as Mr. Painter said, Page County is an amazing place to live, and our parent that came to speak, I have had multiple people reach out to me to offer resources, offer support. We're able to get their family Christmas presents. We're looking into owner financing possibilities. People are just, kind of giving money, and Veteran Affairs are reaching out. So it's really, and that's what it's about, is having all of those organizations in one room to say, we can come together, we can do this. So I'm excited, for them to keep going. And to Mr. Gubler and Dr. Painter, thank you both for everything. I'm the newest to the board, and so you both really took me under your wing and kind of showed me the ropes and helped me feel comfortable and welcome. And Dr. Painter actually was on the phone with me. I think we both had like a 20-minute break and walked me through board docs and told me what I needed to look at and what I needed to do. So it's been a pleasure, Mr. Gubler. I love how laid back you are, and then how you stand up and you advocate when it's time to advocate. Dr. Painter, I love how you always tell the truth that not everybody wants to say, not everybody wants to hear, but it's always coming from a genuine place, and there's always a lot of fact to it. Thank you.
Rolf, you want to go or you want me to?
I can go.
Okay.
All right. First, I want to say how much I've thoroughly enjoyed working with all you guys. It's true. It's honest. And Dr. Fox, you're doing a great job. Continue doing that. I think we made a great decision when we hired. The last 8 years have been a roller coaster ride, I'm sure. COVID. Some of the social issues that we've dealt with, you name it, the relationship sometimes with our board of supervisors. But overall, it's been a good experience. My hope is that our current board, future board, and the board of supervisors will continue to work closely together. One thing that would go a long way would be for the board of supervisors to remove the line item budget process. I've mentioned that before. I think that'd be a show of good faith. My hope is that the new board will continue the good work we've done to support kids and staff, and including creating a safe and inclusive space for all our students. And I wanted to echo Dwayne's comments about what he said about Dr. Painter and what she brought to the board in terms of her educational background and her sort of specific sort of tactical knowledge. And I think that was really important to have over the last 4 years. And, you know, it was a real good way to fact check some things, especially early in your tenure, the previous superintendent. So it's really important. So thank you for your time. I think that's all I have. Just thank you all.
You want to go, or would you like me to go?
Oh, you can go.
Okay.
I made her so nervous.
Okay, we'll keep Dr. Fox in suspense for just a little bit longer. So, I echo pretty much everything that everybody has said. You know, I'm in getting ready to start year 3. Whew. And Rolf and Amy, you guys have been phenomenal. This whole board has, really. We don't always agree on everything, but I feel like we support each other. Working with you, Dr. Fox, it probably is the best thing. You know, we couldn't have asked for a better superintendent, I don't think, based on who we had previously, right before you. You genuinely care about the community, and you can tell that. So it's a pleasure working with you and your staff, and you build a really good team. And I think the board kind of, you know, I feel like we've built the same kind of team. Rolf, I do love that you are very laid back, but then you do stand up and say what you think. I actually really enjoy the interactions between you and Mr. Painter. That's fun sometimes. And Amy, well, you know, you kept us on our toes the whole time. We never knew what you were going to say, but you do bring a wealth of knowledge to all of the conversations you have done. You know, you can fact check, and honestly, not just fact check, but you're pretty good with Facebook checking and people checking. So it is a good way. It's a good checks and balances. So it's been fun. It was a rough 2 years to start. I mean, I came in right at the tail end of COVID, and our first meeting was a fun one. But you know, I feel like we have had ups and downs, but it's been a good board. I appreciate it, and everybody that's staying on. Hopefully, we'll continue to build the relationship we have with each other. And as far as the community forums, and you know, they've been phenomenal. I've gotten the same feedback that Taylor got afterwards. People really love the conversations that are happening. We're making a lot of connections there. So thank you for doing that and bringing the community into the schools and allowing, you know, the resources to be in there. I think it's only going to help our students. And a break, yes, let's all please take a nice break over Christmas. Take time to breathe. Hopefully have a little bit of a ceasefire for everything, and come back refreshed and ready to go. But we thank everybody for all that you do, your staff and everybody in the school system. And we are going to miss you, Rolf, and we're going to miss you, Amy. And I do have to say, this is the best thing. Every meeting, these pens they're the best.
Let's just slide this thing on over here. So because I did not want to end up on Good Morning America, I'm not going to speak off the cuff, and I have mine written down. So as I bid farewell to my role as a school board member, I want to share some words of wisdom and gratitude with all of you. I know you're nervous. Serving on the board has been a privilege, and I've witnessed the dedication and passion that each of you bring to the education of our students. But here are some thoughts I'd like to leave you with. To everyone in Page County Public Schools, reflect and find your why. As you face changes, both anticipated and unexpected, remember that your why is the anchor that grounds you amidst uncertainty. Your why is the driving force behind your commitment to the students, the community, and the pursuit of excellence in education. If your why is because of a paycheck, long Christmas break, summers off, a fancy job title, and has nothing to do with helping students to be their best, then maybe education is not for you. There's no secret as to my why of joining the school board back in 2020. As an educator myself, I knew there was a wolf in sheep's clothing in the barnyard, a whole pack actually, and I'm pleased that we found a fox to take its place. To to our central office and school administrators, great titles come with great responsibility. Commit to excellence. Our students deserve nothing but the best, and we need an unwavering commitment to excellence. Continue to set high standards and encourage your colleagues to strive for greatness in every aspect of their work. It has a true trickle-down effect. Collaboration is key. The success of PCPS lies in collaboration and teamwork. Foster an environment where administrators, teachers, and staff work seamlessly together. Embrace diverse perspectives and ideas as they are the building blocks of innovation. In the pursuit of educational excellence, remember that collaboration is more powerful than competition. Encourage teamwork among administrators, teachers, and staff. When we work together, we can achieve far more than when we work in isolation. Adaptability matters. The landscape of education is ever evolving. Embrace change and be proactive in adapting to new methodologies and technologies. We can't just keep doing what we've always been doing. Our ability to evolve will determine our success in preparing students for the future. Empower teachers. Teachers are the heart of our educational system. Empower them with the resources, support, and professional development opportunities they need to excel. Recognize and celebrate their achievements, for they're the ones shaping the future. Inclusive education. Ensure that our educational programs are inclusive and cater to the diverse needs of all students. Strive to create an environment where every student feels valued, respected, and supported. Communication is key. Effective communication is the lifeblood of any successful relationship. Foster an environment where open and honest communication is not only encouraged but celebrated. Keep the lines of communication open among administrators, teachers, parents, and students. Transparency builds trust. However, follow the chain of command. Don't jump straight to the top or to the school board. When you aren't being heard, then be our guest. Celebrate achievements and learn from challenges. Celebrate the successes, no matter how small, and learn from challenges. Each obstacle presents an opportunity for growth and improvement. Embrace the journey with a positive mindset. No large receptions are needed. Simple notes of encouragement and recognition work wonders. Lead with integrity. As administrators, you're leaders in shaping the future of our students and our community. Integrity is the cornerstone of effective leadership. Model the values you wish to see in others. Make decisions based on what's best for students and the community rather than personal interest. Uphold a standard of honesty and accountability. Your actions today will leave a lasting impact on generations to come. Help the superintendent. Dr. Fox has my utmost respect. She's truly the only employee of the school board. If she looks good, the entire school division looks good. I can assure you that Dr. Fox will give recognition for support. Do anything and everything to support her and her ambitions. Don't wait to be requested to help or support a project. Take the initiative to take the load off of her plate. To the parents, and I'm a parent, so I can say this, I urge you to be active participants in your child's education. Your involvement is a powerful catalyst for success. As a collective force, we can create an atmosphere, don't worry, it's my last page, where every child feels seen, heard, and valued. We also need to reflect back on the fact that we were all kids at one time. Please hear both sides of a story before jumping to the court of social media. Admin, teachers, and parents need to create relationships through communication and working together to help students learn and grow. Kids make mistakes. It's okay and part of growing up. It's important to learn from mistakes as children to keep from making bigger mistakes as adults. I think we all know that as adults that Judge Judy isn't going to let mom, dad, or grandma call in your defense. To the dedicated teachers and paraprofessionals, thank you for your unwavering commitment. You're the architects of dreams, shaping the future one lesson at a time. Your passion is the fuel that propels our students toward greatness. As mentioned to parents, please strive to create working relationships with parents. And as you deal with students, please treat them as you would like your own children treated. To the custodians, food service workers, maintenance, mechanics, bus drivers, clerical staff, and other classified employees, your work is tireless, underpaid, and you're truly the backbone of Page County Public Schools. Thank you for your hard work to keep the system running. To the superintendent, rely on others and don't take the weight of all the problems on your own shoulders.
Amen.
Make people step up or put them on another bus. You need excavators to move mountains, not lawn ornaments. If that struck a nerve with anyone, that is actually the feeling of guilt. Step up. To the new school board members, understand your role on the board. Simply put, your role is to help PCPS to be fiscally responsible and follow policies. Education is not confined to the walls of a classroom. It's dynamic, collective effort that extends beyond textbooks. Trust Dr. Fox to do her thing. You're not in charge of day-to-day operations. Full disclosure, the job doesn't even pay a minimum wage based on the time you commit. And finally, to my fellow board members, past and present, thank you for your dedication and service. The work you do is often behind the scenes, but its impact resonates in the lives of those we serve. I have complete confidence in your ability to continue steering our educational ship in the right direction. Best wishes for a future filled with success, growth, and continued excellence. And I make a motion to adjourn.
We need a second.
We need a second, Mr. Gubler.
No, it's copy that.
That's pretty
We
good.
have a motion by Dr. Painter and a second by Mr. Gubler to adjourn.
Dr. Payne.
Yep.
Mr. Gubler.
Yes.
Ms. Alger.
Yeah.
Mr. Painter.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Yes.
You are adjourned.